For months, you've tried to get the Attorney General to come. He's here. Why don't you let him speak? Why don't you let him answer the questions?
Gentleman is not...
Time after time. If you want the Attorney General to come, at least let him answer the questions and the accusations made against him.
The gentleman's rudeness is not recognized.
Rudeness?
Rudeness is on the other side.
Mr. Stanton...
Time after time, you refuse to let the Attorney General of the United States answer the questions posed to him.
Your rudeness is not recognized. Unbelievable. Let's bring in the guy who's screen right, Jim Jordan, Republican from Ohio, House Judiciary Committee ranking member. Jim, good morning to you.
Good morning, Steve.
Can you please explain to me and Ainsley and Brian why the Democrats thought they would look terrific if they would ask Bill Barr a question and then 4 seconds later cut him off?
There's no explanation. As I said in the hearing yesterday, you've been trying to get the Attorney General here, let the guy talk. But they wouldn't let us complete our video. They wouldn't let him answer questions.
They pulled the plug on the video?
Yeah, it wasn't all the way through. We had more to show. They wouldn't let him answer the questions. And there was a point where they weren't even going to let him take a restroom break. That's how rude they were to the Attorney General of the United States of America, because they've been out to get this guy. As I said in my opening statement, ever since he used the word spying and called it what it was, they've been out to get him, so much so they filed articles of impeachment against him 3 weeks ago.
So, Congressman, we know people on other channels that you included in these are peaceful protests were upset that you took them out of context. Because if people didn't see the video, if you guys were busy during the day yesterday, you opened up to say, these are not peaceful protests. I will show you the difference. You talked about the Dorn family, and we saw that them talked about the death of the dad in that family, the husband in that family. At the same time, we saw everything burning. What's your answer to those on other channels who said you took them out of context?
Well, how can you take them out of context when they're they're standing in front of the camera saying it's a peaceful protest
with a fire?
There's a building burning behind them. I guess it's not really it's not a fire, it's just a burning building, and maybe it's a peaceful fire. I mean, it's ridiculous for them to say that. That's why we showed it, because they keep saying peaceful protest. And as the Attorney General said, why won't they condemn the mob? Why won't the mainstream press? Why won't Democrats condemn the mob? Why won't they speak out against this crazy defund the police policy that's causing the harm? 3 officers were blinded this past weekend because of the mob in Portland. So that's what we're concerned about. The Attorney General is doing a great job as Attorney General. He's doing a great job trying to protect federal property and enforce federal law. Why won't the Democrats help? Why won't they speak out against it and talk about how crazy it is to defund the police?
So Nancy Pelosi, she had this to say. Listen.
So this, it's really, he was like a blob. He was like just a henchman for the President of the United States instead of the Attorney General of the United States of America.
He says that she's saying he's a henchman, and he said yesterday, Barr said yesterday, that the president expects me to exercise my independent judgment to make calls the way I think are right, and that's exactly what I have done. He said that he insists that he acts independent of the president. Nancy Pelosi is saying he's a henchman and a blob, and there's a double standard there. What if someone called a woman a blob? What's your response?
Yeah. No, it's terrible, but this is the same individual who said that the President of the United States is an imposter back during impeachment. The guy who 63 million Americans voted for, she called an imposter. So I don't take what she says about people in the administration very seriously. Bill Barr, as I said earlier, is doing a good job. He is committed to the rule of law. He said something else yesterday that's so important. He said he is tired of the double standard. The one set of rules for the political elite. If your name is Comey, Clapper, Brennan, you get one set of rules, and then us regular folks get another set. He is tired of that, and that's why Mr. Durham is doing the investigation to find out what happened. So I thought that was another great line that is so consistent with administering the rule of law and having equal justice under the law.
Right. Let's switch gears for just a moment. Big tech, a lot of them, although not Twitter, going up on Capitol Hill today to talk a little bit about, how some in Congress feel that they are censoring certain points of view. Donald Trump Jr.'s Twitter was suspended yesterday for 12 hours after he shared a video about hydroxychloroquine, I do believe. Here he is with Tucker last night talking about Twitter. Watch this.
If they're censoring my account, they're censoring others. When I posted that video, I didn't say, well, this is the gospel. I said, wow, this is a must watch because it seems very contrary to the narrative that they've been force feeding us for a little while. Now, Twitter takes me down for that, but Twitter has no problem saying that coronavirus disinformation spread by the Chinese government does not violate their rules. I just put something out there that challenged the narrative. And because I have a large platform, I'm canceled.
And just like you said a moment ago on the other topic, there's a double standard.
No, there's definitely a double standard. They censor conservatives. Big tech attacks conservatives. We know we feel that's the case. We think that's the case. That is the case. Those are the facts. I mean, think about this. Twitter allowed a tweet from the leader of Iran, the largest state sponsor of terrorism. In the tweet, he talks about striking a blow against the United States. They allow that, but they censor Don Jr. They censor the president. This is crazy. So they're going to hear about that today in the hearing. About this double standard. I point out there were 4 members of Congress shadow banned just 2 years ago.
Yep.
You think about it, 435 in the House, 100 in the Senate, 535, only 4. Gates, Meadows, Nunes, Jordan, and they said it was just a glitch. I said, what'd you put in the algorithm? The names Gates, Meadows, Nunes, Jordan. It's not a glitch. If I had a nickel for every time they said the word glitch, we'd be pretty well off.
Here's the problem. This is not interesting and fascinating, aggravating. This is going to affect the election. You have Jeff Bezos, Tim Cook, Mark Zuckerberg, and Sanjay Pinchar of Google all going to be in front of you. For Bezos, the first time. This is going to be extraordinary. For Google, they are suppressing conservative writers, and you had Breitbart on saying that they gave this warning a year ago. The bottom line is the average American who's not into politics like us is going to be searching different articles to get perspectives, and they're going to be wondering why you cannot get conservative points of view, right or wrong. That, I know, is wrong.
Yeah, and you're right, Brian, particularly in an election year. We have a number of examples that we will point out today in the hearing that have happened in just the past few months. And here we are 97 days before the election, and the impact they can have on the election process is profound. So that is why this is so important that you
got to score points today. You can't you can't talk at each other. You got to score points today.
I think we got to show what's going on and how that could impact the election. I think that's critical.
Congressman, thanks for being with us.
You bet. Thank you all.
Good luck today.
We're reclaiming our time.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Good to see you.